Today's episode is brought to you by Proud Wolves. It is Proud Wolves' mission to make sure children all over the world have free access to cultural activities and sport. Proud Wolves helps organizations to change their income models and stops them relying on membership fees for children. Find Proud Wolves on Facebook for more information. Now, get ready for your All-NBA Team of the Week. Goeiedag, enchanté, and welcome to the first episode of A24 Presents All-NBA Team of the Week. It has been a busy week in the NBA with plenty of surprises. Teams are starting to find their form and rookies are outperforming expectations. Before diving into the 5 players of the week, I wanted to give a special mention to a few guys that just missed out on this week's team. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, and Domantas Sabonis. These 4 guys look like they'll lead their teams, the Celtics and the Pacers, to a higher seeding than most people expected. Peyton Pritchard and Tyrese Halliburton, both rookies, have put some impressive performances on the court. Especially Pritchard has proven to be a steal for the Celtics early on. Lastly, John Wall has been playing very well on his return from a huge injury. Hopefully he can keep this level of play up and help push Houston to one of the top seeds in the West, as long as James Harden stays. My first pick of the week is Stephen Curry, 3-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, and 6-time All-Star. Steph is without a doubt the greatest shooter in NBA history, and this season, more than any other, people are counting on him to prove it, again, for the Golden State Warriors. With Klay Thompson out for the season, and Draymond Green missing the first 4 games, Curry finds himself surrounded with young talented players, but none of them have proven anything on the court when it really counts. After a rough start to the season with big losses against Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Portland, critics were quick to condemn the Warriors to another lottery season, and Curry was tired with just not good enough to do it on his own. It seemed like nobody took into account that this was basically a brand new team. The only players on the starting 5 in the first game of the season against Brooklyn that ever had played together last season were Pascal, a rookie, and Wiggins, who only played 12 games for the Warriors after his trade. Of course, Curry was part of the team, but he didn't play any more than 5 games last season due to injury. Fast forward to the start of this week, when the Warriors hosted Portland for the second game in a row, and Curry went off to silence critics. With a career high of 62 points, he single-handedly willed his team to victory. Cue the Jordan meme, was his response after the game. It was his way of telling the world that he's not ready yet with this season, and he will find a way to get his team to the playoffs. He backed it up with another great game against the Kings, making 30 points. Unfortunately for Steph, he will need his teammates to step up when it counts. In the first game against the Clippers, the defense simply focused on Curry, taking him out of the game completely. Wiggins had an okay game, but Oubre was nowhere to be found. Steph will get his team to the playoffs just on skills alone. He proved that in the second game against the Clippers, but to get through that first round, his teammates will need to show us all that they are more than potential stars. My second pick for the All-NBA Team of the Week is Caris LeVert. He's in his 5th season in the NBA, all with the Brooklyn Nets, and he's possibly one of the main contenders for the 6th Man of the Year award. LeVert started this season on the bench, which is understandable having Kyrie Irving and Spencer Dinwiddie in the rotation above you. His numbers so far have been solid, much like last season, but 3 games stood out to me so far. The game against Memphis towards the end of 2020, the game against Philly last Thursday, and again against Memphis on Friday. Not coincidentally, the 3 games that he started, and the Nets played without stars Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. Ignoring the first 2 games of the seasons, the Nets have been fairly flat. When they play, KD and Kyrie have been fantastic, but more at padding their own stats than playing great team basketball. Considering their schedule and quality, the Nets haven't won enough games so far this season. Of course, we can't expect miracles, as both KD and Kyrie are coming back from injuries, and much like the Warriors, they will need time to get things running smoothly. And that brings us back to Caris LeVert, who is not disappointing when his star teammates are unavailable. The first 2 games he started, he finished with a double-double, and the last one against Memphis, he finished with 43 points. He runs the offense, scores, and let his teammates score. The Nets are more frisky and fun when LeVert runs the offense, and the whole team contributes to the end result. Of course, friskiness alone doesn't win championships, and the Nets will need Kyrie and KD if they want to go all the way. But for now, during the regular season, I'd like to see more of Caris LeVert. My third pick is Keldon Johnson, a second-year player and living proof of a potential revolution at the San Antonio Spurs. Last season, the Spurs heavily relied on their star players DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, and they got nowhere. On the surface, not much has changed for the Spurs going into this season, but deep inside the franchise, a revolution could be brewing. The younger guys have been playing hard and well, especially DeJounte Murray and Keldon Johnson. I could have picked Murray for this week's team, mainly because he has better numbers, but Johnson's performance to me was more impressive, because it was more unexpected. He's been putting up big numbers and grabbing plenty of rebounds, and he still has plenty of upside because he will only improve as he gets more playing time. Aldridge and DeRozan are not on their way out, yet. They have realized their game needed adjusting, and to their credit, they have both starting to shoot more threes this season. But the Spurs need to think about the future, and it might change things in the team, quickly. Right now is the moment to get some value for both stars if they decide to blow it up. The Spurs are not famous for wild trades, but it is time, during this already weird season, for a revolution. It will only help the younger guys to grow quicker with more responsibility on the court. Before we move on, I'd like to talk to you about A24. A24 was created by proud Wolves with the intention to provide children with an opportunity to learn and play basketball at their own pace and completely free. A24 created different courses to improve your basketball skills that are available on the website, but our real mission is to help disadvantaged children by building and upgrading basketball courts around the world, and to give them basketball gear to play with. Come and find our website, and please buy a t-shirt to support our cause. Now back to All-NBA Team of the Week. My fourth pick for the All-NBA Team of the Week is Julius Randle of the New York Knicks. The 26-year-old completely changed under new coach Tom Thibodeau and is averaging a strong double-double early in the season. The Knicks are good, which is probably the biggest surprise early in this season. RJ Barrett is finally playing like the top 3 draft pick that he is, and Austin Rivers is absolutely killing it off the bench, smoking the Jazz with 14 straight points in the fourth quarter on Wednesday. But the main man for the Knicks has been Julius Randle. Under Tibbs, Randle has been playing more minutes, averaging 22 points, passing much better, and he's grabbing 12 rebounds a game. Tibbs is known for physical teams that focus on defense, and has been working really well for Randle. Last season he looked sluggish and outright lazy at some times, but this year he is showing grit and hustle. By playing this way, he allows his teammates to get better as well. He is setting the pace alongside Rivers, and the young core is happy to follow. The Knicks' schedule hasn't been extremely difficult so far, but with wins against the Bucks, Pacers and the Jazz, they have been winning games nobody expected them to. The next 2 weeks will give us a better idea where the Knicks really sit, but if they can keep up this level of play, they will be in contention for that playing game in the Eastern Conference. My only question is whether or not Randle will still be part of the team if they do make that playing game. I have a feeling that the front office might trade him now his stocks are sky high. The final pick in this week's All-NBA team is Joel Embiid. The big man from Philly has been a beast on defense and putting up decent numbers on the offensive end at the same time. Philly has started the season better than anyone else. Their schedule has been pretty easy so far, but they have dominated pretty much every game. Even in the 2 games they lost, they seem to have taken a night off on purpose to give themselves some rest in a busy schedule. They can turn it on whenever they want to. At least that's what it feels like. Embiid is the engine behind the team so far, averaging 24 points and 12 rebounds this season, and he's dominant on the defensive end. The fit with Ben Simmons is much better this year, with both players looking really comfortable on the court. The new players in their rotation are proving their value as well, especially Steph Curry, who's shooting almost 60% from 3. That takes us to the next problem for the Sixers. Caris has tested positive for COVID-19, and because of the health and safety regulations, it looks like he'll be dragging plenty of other players with him into quarantine. At the time of recording, the Sixers had to face off Denver with only 7 playable guys. Yet again, the Sixers are facing dramas outside of their control that will influence their game on the court. Hopefully they can keep it together and come back even stronger. This is our All-NBA Team of the Week. Please share our podcast and give us 5 stars. If you have any questions, you can contact the show on a24office@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Ballers out.